Praise the Lord, Atlanta West. So excited to be here for another devotional. Today, I want to encourage you to trust the process. Has God ever made a way for you or worked out an impossible situation for you? I know that I've seen him do amazing things in my life and seen him do it time and time again. But sometimes it's hard to trust God's process. We're just impatient people. You know, we want the promises of God to come quickly. I think about Abraham, and he was promised a child, but when it didn't happen in the timeline in which he thought it should, you know, he had Ishmael. He took it into his own hands, but that wasn't God's plan and God's process. It's easy to get ahead of God, to get impatient, but I want to encourage you today to trust the process. God has a master plan. Just ask Peter in Luke 5, verses 4 through 10. When he had stopped speaking, he said to Simon, "Launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch." But Simon answered and said to him, "Master, we have toiled all night and caught nothing." And at this point, I feel like he said this to Jesus, and Jesus kind of didn't make a face, was just looking at him. He looked at Jesus, and then maybe he thought, "Nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the net." And when they had done this, they caught a great number of fish, and their net was breaking. So they signaled to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both the boats so that they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees and said, "Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord." For he and all who were with him were astonished at the catch of fish which they had taken. And so also were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, who were partners with Simon. And Jesus said to Simon, "Do not be afraid. From now on, you will catch men." This story is incredible to me, because Simon, obviously being a fisherman, thought he had it all figured out. He thought he understood, what he was supposed to do. He knows how to do this. But Jesus says to cast the nets out again. And I feel like he had a little reluctancy to do so. But he said, "Nevertheless, Lord, I'll do it at your word." And that's what's important in this scripture and in this story, is a lot of times in life we think we have a plan for our life, or we've even heard a word from the Lord on what we needed to do or what he has for us. And we don't trust the process in which God is trying to make us and to take us to that point. And as we get impatient, we make our own plan. We kind of do our own thing. But when we do that, we get outside of the process which God has for us. And then we can miss out on what God really has for us. And that's what's awesome about the Lord, is he sees it in this big picture frame, right? We just see a small part of it. God had a plan for Peter, but he had to trust the process. And in that moment, Peter thought this was all about fish. But really, God was going to make him fishermen of men. Peter was amazed at the miracle, but it wasn't about those fish at that time. It was about what God was going to do for Peter for the future. So today I want to encourage you to trust God and trust in his process. God bless, Atlanta West.